It's been 30 days since I launched my Skillshare class, Drawing is Important, Develop a Daily Sketchbook Habit in 30 days. So I'm going to now take a look at the projects that students have posted on Skillshare, on the class page, and see who did the 30 days. This is an ongoing class, of course, so there will be new projects always being posted. Some people started posting in the middle of October, and so their 30 days will end in the middle of November. So I don't want to overlook all the effort that everyone is putting in, but a month into a class that takes a month, I think it makes sense to take a look at those first successful projects. And just a side note here, you'll see that I'm dressed in my running gear and my running hat. I'm at the studio, but I will be going for my daily run today. That's what you see here. If I don't come to work in my running gear, often what happens is I don't run that day. So if I come up to work wearing my running gear, that's a promise to myself that I will run before I go home. So just a little side note. Now, as I'm here looking for all the students whose projects were updated with their 30 projects, it's really hard in Skillshare for me to know who I've seen already. My usual way of keeping track of which students I've paid attention to on their projects is just with a heart. If I click heart, I know that I've seen the project, I've dropped a comment. And because there are so many projects in all of my classes, I try to get at least one comment in on each student's project. And then I move on. It's rare that I'll be able to actually go and comment multiple times on a student project. This particular project for this class, because it's a 30-day project and people are encouraged to upload every day, I'm making an extra effort to actually see each and every project. It looks like Vesela Kucheva has successfully completed her 30 days. Just quickly scanning through here, all the way to the bottom. Here we have her most recent post on what seems to be the 14th of October. So maybe Vesela fast-tracked her project and did more than one a day. If there's more than 30 projects and they were done by the 14th of October, that would mean she was busy. She did multiple drawings a day. What I really like about Vesela's project is that she chose to use collage as her medium, and I think this makes her project really stand out amidst all the drawings. That's not to say the drawing-based sketchbooks or drawings are less interesting, but this is unique, and I appreciate the effort. And like I said in the actual class video when I was doing the collage demo, I had a lot of fun just doing that one, and I thought this could be a really fun multi-day project. So at some point in the future, I might do a collage-based sketchbook plan, and it's a project like Vesela's that really inspired me. This is definitely a nod to the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Oh, and there's the reference. Love it. And you can clearly see that Vesela's theme is kids' toys, like really young kids' toys. That is super sweet. I really like that. I love those colors too. I like the strawberry on Vesela's cutout more than I like the one on the shirt. Excellent colors. Okay. So I will drop a little acknowledgement that she finished her project. Interestingly, it looks like a lot of people got to day 15 and then stopped. It could just be that I'm looking at a lot of people whose projects started on the 15th of October. Or it could just be that people are not posting exactly every day, which is totally fine. And I think what's also happening is a lot of students are posting on Instagram and preferring just to share there rather than posting on the project page here in Skillshare. And you know what? I actually don't blame anyone for doing that, because posting on Skillshare, unfortunately, is not super easy, especially for multi-image projects and multi-day projects like what I often have my students do. And again, I'm just kind of skipping through the projects that didn't post all 30 days yet. And that's not because I think the projects that are halfway through are any less in terms of quality or effort. It's just that I'm looking specifically for those projects that actually carried through the first 30 days of this new class. There are some pretty beautiful drawings. I'm proud to have these up in my class. They're amazing. So if you see a project here and I'm skipping through it, it's only because it's not a full 30 days, and that's my focus today. Otherwise, amazing work, everyone. So this one's by Xena Sorensen, and Xena actually posted in the class discussions page that she had in fact finished her project as of today. So well done, Xena. I'm gonna enjoy looking through these. So Xena's project was using markers, white gel pens, basically pen and ink, and a Montmartre sketchbook and a little bit of iPad. And so she pledged or planned to sketch every day for 30 days. And now we're looking at what she's done those 30 days. And her theme, her subject, was various items within a theme based on my daily life, current interest, event routine. So pretty much whatever catches her eye in the day. So Bushman, repellent. I love when people draw packaging, when people illustrate packaging. It's really fun subject matter to get into, especially if you're interested in design and lettering. It's a good way of studying how design and lettering work. It's nice to see such a variety of subject matter here. We have objects like coffee cups and toys and stuff like that, but then we also have creatures and critters, which are a totally different kind of subject to draw. We have laundry, which I think is a harder thing to draw, like these lumpy amorphous shapes that you see in the laundry basket. I think that's a harder subject to draw than something like a coffee cup, because it's just not as well defined. And then she also has characters that she's drawn, presumably from imagination. This is cool. On her 22nd day, Xena decided to start posting on Instagram. So I don't know, Xena, if that means that you started a brand new Instagram account and started to post just like a week ago or whatever, or if you just started to post your drawings from this class on that. If you started your Instagram account just based on this class, that's pretty cool. So well done. Way to be brave. Nicely done. There's so much attention and effort here. Xena really took this class seriously. If I remember correctly, Xena started with a really full-on lettering page. Yeah, she was journaling, and yeah, this one here. So she started off really strong and just beautiful writing and everything. And to be honest, when you start with this much of a full page, when I see it, I'm gonna say it, I'm skeptical that the project will actually, that you'll follow through, because it's so much. It's like, how can you commit to doing this every day? And so big ups to Xena for following through, doing this every day. And it looks like some days you scaled it back just to get it done, and that's exactly what you should do. Don't give up, don't do nothing, just do what you can in that day. And so it's nice to see that evolution, not just of your drawings and your style or that part of working things out, but you're also working out what you can do every day. This one's really cool. did like a kid's drawing. So nicely done, well done. When I see people post one image for the first time, I always want to honor that and encourage them to keep going. So here we have Elisa doing 30 days of spookiness, and it looks like she did the whole 30 days also, and she was doing a drawing prompt, something from outside of this class called Inktivity, and she just was able to follow each of these prompts, ghost, rainy day, etc. And it looks like this is 15 or so things to draw. Oh, so she's following multiple drawing prompts here, just whatever catches her eye, I'm assuming, as she goes along. And she's using some digital media here. So I encourage people to use a physical sketchbook, physical tools and all that. But if working in the iPad excites you and it makes it easy, or you just want to do it, that's fair game. And I know that Elisa was negotiating with herself, like how much detail does she put in these? Does she just do the sketch? Does she do the color over top? And I think for a while, Elisa, you were saying that you were maybe going to scale it back just to the drawing part and not to the like filling it in with color and all that. But it looks like you found your groove again and kept going and pretty much followed through, illustrating all the way to day 30. So well done, Elisa. So I will honor that with a comment. Another student who completed their 30 days of sketching is Myrna Sombo-Telly. And I'm not saying that right, I'm sure, but I do love a good silent J. So looks like she chose mushrooms as her subject, and she has this go-to source of inspiration. And she started really ambitiously by drawing in her sketchbook, but then also styling the scene around it with natural elements in a sort of frame. And I was a little bit worried that maybe this was going to hold her back, like if she'd get through to the middle maybe and become exhausted trying to do this frame. But Myrna kept it up. She really pushed forward, and it seems like the framing wasn't something that set her back at all. I just imagine you must have just had these bits of leaves or whatever on your desk all the time, just ready to put around your book. So if I were you, I would be excited to finally put those back in a box and have my desk space back. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the level of effort and dedication that you showed here in doing your 30-day project. And really that's what this is about. This is not about being the best drawer, and it's not about having amazing art at the end, but training ourselves to dedicate ourselves to doing something creative every day that we can grow from and learn from. So well done, Myrna. And by the way, it's not just your dedication here that I'm impressed with. I am impressed with your drawings also, and your attention to your subject. I think mushrooms are in some ways hard to draw because we have this idea of what mushrooms should look like, but every mushroom you've drawn is so different, and you really have to pay attention to those differences and get out of what you think you know into drawing what you see in front of you. So well done, Myrna. The next student project here is by Ula Sass, and her theme is obviously plants, and her media is clearly a plain paper sketchbook with pen and marker, and keeping her colors and details pretty simple. And I really like this. It's very elegant. It's a nice study in different plants. It's really nice to see her kind of get more confident in a very subtle way over time. I think the first few were a bit more, you can see here with the pot, the drawings themselves are a little bit less confident, I'm gonna say, a little bit more tentative. And even the way she's colored and filled in, she was being a bit precious or tentative. I'm not sure if I'm reading that properly, but that's my impression. But as you go forward, your strokes are much more confident. Like you just go for it. There's no sketching back over them. And you fill in those leaves all the way with color. You're not worried about, should you leave it white? Shouldn't you leave it white? There's a really nice confidence. I mean, the way the rose bush here is done, fantastic. Those are well done roses. I just wouldn't have patience to draw them that way. I think the simplicity of those roses is deceptive. You probably really had to pause there and slow down to get those looking the way they do. So well done. I hope you did find that this project made you more confident in your drawing ability, and as your purpose here says, you wanted to get more confident drawing on paper, no double taps, no eraser. And I'm assuming you're more used to drawing on your tablet. And here, I think I would say this is a success. I can see you are more confident, and the fact that there's no eraser and no double taps, obviously, is the proof in the pudding. So well done, Ula. The next fully completed project is by Daksha Giri, and she was doing 30 days of people, and she aimed to be better at making cool, quirky, stylized people, and to gain confidence and to be on her screen less. And her media is using sketchbook, pencil, brush pens, eraser, and marker pens. And so she was posting every day for 30 days, and that's why we're looking at this project today. So she started with her first image sideways, her first few images. I think she was figuring out how to get those upright, and then she figured that out. And she chose to document her sketches by holding her sketchbook open. And in the class, I talk about how if your sketchbook just wants to close while you're taking a photo of it, then if you're not scanning it, which would obviously hold your book flat automatically, you could just use your hand. And it's sometimes nice just to see the artist's hand in there. It's a little bit more of a personal touch. You know, it's just one of many ways to document your work on your daily project. And you kind of get a real sliver of a peek of who the artist is. We know that Daksha Giri paints her nails red. So nice dedication here, Daksha. Every day, just doing a new person, exploring, different face shapes, different types of hair, different eyes. This is how you work out your style, especially of drawing people. Like, how do you draw eyes? How do you draw mouths? How do you draw noses? It's just through practice and trying things, and eventually you find what works best for you. And you're also exploring facial expressions. This one looks like me, old and confused. Yeah, I think that's definitely a portrait of me. Well done, Daksha. Yeah, I love the variety, but the consistency and the blocking in of the background is a nice way to help these simple illustrations stand out without needing to color them all in with all the details and stuff. That's kind of a nice shortcut if you're pressed for time and you don't want to have to color in all the people or think about what colors should you use or all that kind of stuff. If you just put a nice pop of color behind and let that white stand out, then that's just another way of making an interesting composition. I would just say if you're doing the white person, the figure, kind of popping out from a background of color, Daksha, this is just my own unsolicited suggestion. Consider not doing an outline of the person in ink. So maybe outline it in pencil that you can erase, and then draw that color in behind, but don't have the outline, and see how you can add the details of the person themselves without needing to have the black outline around, if that makes sense. And get you thinking a little bit more about the relationship between shape and line as your style elements. Nicely done, Daksha Giri. I am going to leave you a little comment here, acknowledge all of your effort, and yeah, super work. Sometimes I'm inspired to write more in a response or a comment on people's projects. And it really depends on the project. Sometimes I have ideas to share, and if I have a moment, I'll do it. And if not, then I just keep it short. The next person who did 30 days of their project by the end of October was Pudewa. And Ez decided to go with the Ugly Books and Posca paint pen, which is a favorite of mine since obviously I'm doing that in my own project. She's doing household objects, globes, pancake syrup, keys, blocks. It's such a fun way to keep a sketchbook, is to have these colored paint pens. I find it just so satisfying because they're opaque, and it's almost like you can't go wrong. It's very easy to make a sketchbook that is fun to look at. But I think Ez is just making it look easy. I have this exact same bowl. It's nice to see you experiment with color. I love that. I love that pencil. I love how you did the details on the pencil as well. I think I actually have that exact same camera at home also. I used to collect old cameras, and then I stopped because I didn't actually do anything with them. Yeah, these are fantastic. So her purpose was to shake off creative burnout and experiment with materials and style. She spent about 10 minutes or more on these, and yeah, she did ordinary objects from around her home. Nice, consistent, clean background. Got her book to stay open on its own somehow. Nicely done. The next project we're going to look at is by Tessa Cannon. And so she did simple pencil on paper sketchbook, and her media is just pencil and sketchbook for easy drawing on the go, which is awesome. And her purpose was to practice drawing from life, help discover her illustration style, and loosen up and have fun while drawing. So it's going to be interesting to see how things developed over the 30 days. Just drawing from life, sometimes an object, sometimes a scene or an interior. Sometimes she's doing, studies of figures here. Brooklyn Bridge. Some brownstones. Just every day finding something to draw. Cat towers. Houseplants. Looks like you ran out of paper in your sketchbook and started a new Moleskine. Nicely done. Okay, so that kind of is it today on November 1st for projects on my class that did the full 30 days. So well done. Congratulations to everyone who did that. And well done everyone who started a project after that and is still going. Keep it up. Don't give up. I hope the projects that you see on the projects page that are complete and are being completed are inspiring you to keep going. And of course, if you started and then stopped and you gave up or got discouraged or got busy or unmotivated or whatever, life happens. Don't feel bad. But I do encourage you, the project is always here for you to come back to. Your sketchbook is always here to come back to. And even if you don't post more on the project page, I hope this idea of setting a plan and just sticking with it for a set amount of time and just knowing exactly what you need to do each day to fulfill your plan each day. I hope that's a tool that you can use in your daily drawing habit moving forward, and even for other aspects of your life. Habit forming, and especially forming good habits, is really hard. It's almost impossible to do that without a plan. So anyway, thank you so much. This is kind of a different format in terms of the kind of videos I post, but I think it's really important to acknowledge when students are doing my projects on Skillshare and going through them. I really don't value them enough as much as I should. I mean, I love them, I do appreciate them, but this is just a nice way to acknowledge the hard work that everyone's doing on my classes. There are other classes as well and many other projects. As you can see, it takes quite a long time to go through all these, and I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to be more diligent in engaging with your projects and staying in touch with my students. So thank you so much. Well done, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.